Israel have signed an historic water-sharing agreement at the headquarters of the World Bank in Washington. Representatives from the U.S. State Department, Israel, Jordan, and the Palestinian Authority took part in the ceremony that the World Bank hailed as a milestone for the region. The Memorandum of Understanding signed by the parties outlines 3 regional water-sharing agreements. One involves the building of a desalination plant in the Jordanian port of Aqaba that will produce some 80 million cubic meters per year of water to be shared by Israel and Jordan. In return, Israel will release water from the Sea of Galilee for use in northern Jordan. The Palestinians will receive about 30 million cubic meters of fresh water for use in the West Bank. The project involves a 180-kilometer-long pipeline that will carry water from the desalination plant to the Dead Sea, which has been shrinking by about a meter per year.
To mention that this agreement was blessed and supported by Prime Minister Netanyahu, as I know, as well by King Abdullah and by President Abu Mazen, and all of them together shows us that while the leaders are really willing to reach an agreement, it can be achieved, and let's hope that that agreement will be a glimmer of hope for, let's say, future agreements for comprehensive peace in the region.
So that's the news. Israel just announced, Bibi Netanyahu just announced, that he is going to give away 3 billion liters of fresh water to the Palestinian Authority, and untold amount of liters of fresh water to the Jordanians. This is all going to be released from the Kinneret, the Sea of Galilee, our only major freshwater source that feeds all the cities and farms here in Israel. And in return, we're going to get bitter water from the ocean in order to feed it into the Dead Sea. And this is going to actually destroy the Dead Sea, the treasure that the world has, because people come from all over the world to bathe in the Dead Sea and to heal the largest organ on your body, which is your skin. And so what is happening here is a crime against the people of Israel. It's a crime against the Dead Sea. It is a crime being perpetrated by the global community, the World Bank, and in return for taking fresh water from the children of Israel, Arabs, Jews, Christians alike, we're getting bitter waters that will destroy the Red Sea. And this is somehow good for peace, just like releasing hundreds of terrorists, known murderers, where people are just gotten over the shock or never getting over the shock, and to open up all these wounds again by letting the murderers of their families go as part of some so-called peace deal. That's another crime against all the people of Israel. Taking Jews out of their home for being Jewish, this ethnic cleansing, which is a global crime, and the globe expects Israel to perpetrate this crime against its own people, and we have a willing perpetrator in Benjamin Netanyahu.
Dragging out some 250 Jewish settlers barricaded inside. Security forces showed up in full riot gear, using stun grenades and tear gas to force back settlers. The house was taken by surprise during an operation lasting about 20 minutes. The settlers moved into the house after claiming they bought it from a Palestinian, a sale not legally recognized in the city that is thought to be the burial site of Abraham, the shared patriarch of both Jews and Muslims. Lee Powell, The Associated Press.
And with all the members of the government who sit idly by in the cabinet and talk about how terrible it is, and yet they sit there and do nothing and keep the government perpetrating and continuing on. They can collapse this government by all walking out, but they don't. And so they're also part of these crimes. Now, these are crimes, taking people out of their home for being who they are, taking water, fresh water from children and from families and from our state and giving it to another state in return, getting bitter waters from the ocean. And we have plenty of ocean here in Israel. We don't need somebody else's ocean water. and then also letting criminals go as part of a peace deal. Now these are, if you just continue to do crimes against the Jewish people, eventually you'll have to face a court of law and be found guilty of those crimes. You know, right now everything's rigged. Everything's rigged by the Freemasons. And I'm going to call it for what it is. Don't use the word Illuminati. They like you to use that word because, you know, you don't know any Illuminatis, right? But the foot soldiers of all the secret societies are the Freemasons, and they're nothing but free at all. They're not free. They're bound in chains. And the people most afraid of Freemasons are other Freemasons. Yeah, you know who you are. In any case, spread the word. You know, the word in Arabic for somebody who commits all these things, it's called haram. And if you keep doing it, you're a harami.
It's not a historic agreement. It's a historic mistake. It's a historic mistake. It's a historic mistake.